Hi, everybody. It's Christina Quick. Welcome back to our Rapid Tarot for Fortune Telling for the Psychic Hotline series. We're going to be continuing on in this video for the Wands reversed. So, if the Wands are passion, inspiration, influence, then having them reversed really talks about being uninspired, right? So the Ace of Wands, the aces are always an opportunity or a gift coming in, a new creative sort of inspiration. So this could be Ace of Wands reverse, could be like creator's block. Okay. So Ace of Swords might be like particularly writer's block. Creativity is blocked here. It can also be like something has started, false start. So something has started, but it kind of fizzled out, right? It could also be missed opportunities. It could be feeling like a lack of motivation, feeling uninspired. So it really, this card really comes down to something is holding your client back, especially if they have been waiting to take action. It could be that they're continually waiting to take action and they're missing a whole bunch of opportunities. Or it could be that simply maybe that they doubt themselves. They doubt their capability to do the thing. Two of Wands reversed. So this is fear of change. It can also be really poor planning, like, or, planning went to the best of the person's ability, but still things fell through the cracks. This could also be like feeling stuck where they are. It could be about indecision that leads to delays, like delaying a decision. It could also be lost opportunities. So it could be like plan. Usually I see this with planning that it just didn't quite work out. Like despite best interest, like it just didn't quite work out. Plans might be kind of falling apart, and it's usually due to some like lack of preparation that kind of goes along with it. It could also represent a reluctance to kind of expand, right? Like not really feeling ambitious or motivated to go to that next level. The Three of Wands reversed is about delayed success, disappointment in plans, missed chances, wasted effort, setbacks in travel. And when you look at the ace, the two, and the three, they all are so tightly close to one another. So how does the two and the three kind of differentiate? Well, the two is about your own actions. The three is about other people's actions, right? Or needing other people or outside situations to make this plan come to fruition. So in the two, it's like you're doing it by yourself, right? And then the three, you're typically waiting on other people, and it's like other people have let you down. Perhaps they were planning a trip, and the people that were going to come on the trip with them couldn't come. So now the person that doesn't was going to go on the trip doesn't want to go on the trip, you know? So it really comes down to the results. The results of all of this is not really appearing, or they've become foiled somehow. Or some kind of outside support like really hasn't come through. You were relying on something and it just kind of fell through. It could also be, I often see this where like if people are relocating or they're traveling, it's like there's just delays with that, or like it doesn't go as planned. The Four of Wands reverse. It's disrupted celebrations, family conflict, canceled events, unstable home life, lack of support. So it's like wanting to celebrate but being unable to because they're feeling like there's too much conflict, right? Or maybe there was this big party planned, or maybe there was a wedding plan that got disrupted somehow, or maybe the wedding didn't go as great as people thought it was going to go. But usually this is like some kind of like family fighting, right? Internal fighting, some kind of social um, discord that doesn't allow the person in front of you to feel supported. So it's kind of like feeling like they've been sort of ostracized. The Five of Wands is about being conflict avoidant. So it's about conflict being around, but being unwilling to engage in that conflict. It could also be about suppression of one's anger, needing to make a compromise, unresolved tension. So, this is a situation, obviously, that's been going on for a while with your querent and someone else. And it's like the fighting is not stopping, right? So, at this point, it's kind of like a stalemate in a way where not really sure how to come out of this conflict. Is it coming out of this conflict even possible, right? May need to compromise. Six of Wands reverse. So ego and arrogance, public failure, lack of recognition, feeling underappreciated. It can also be a fall from public favor, like where once popular, maybe it has now become unpopular, or really just feeling like undervalued, right? So maybe you were expecting a party for your promotion and you didn't get one, and that's left you feeling jaded. Or perhaps the person has been in front of you, the querent or someone around them has been like arrogant or overconfidence, right? Like took all of that confidence to their head and became someone that they don't recognize over it. Waiting, it's like basically waiting for that external validation and not getting it. The Seven of Wands reversed. This is about feeling overwhelmed, um, giving up too soon, like folding in the towel, losing your stance, losing your power, losing your, because remember in the upright, he's in a position of power. Well, he's upside down now, so he's not quite in a position of power. It could be also being outmatched. So, strategy wise, someone's come along that's, if it's a job offer or something, or something career related, maybe it means that someone's come along who's more qualified than that person. But there's a really strong sense of like being backed into a corner or feeling like you've got to defend yourself or how you feel about something. And it could be like this is like an explosion getting ready to happen, right? So it warns against picking your battles wisely, I guess. Like don't be afraid, I suppose, to um figure out, like I always tell people, are some fights worth it? Like choose your battles, right? Choose your battles. Like what battles are really worth fighting and which ones can you let go? The Eight of Wands reverse. This could be miscommunication, delays, obstacles in travel, lack of progress, impatience leading to mistakes. How many of you have clients that come in and they keep obsessively, compulsively like picking at a situation or a person, and that just makes that situation even worse? Like the impatience is what is sabotaging this situation. It could also represent like where things were going along rather quickly, were rapidly accelerating, now that maybe they have kind of slowed down a little bit. It could be um, the news that you got isn't as clear. I would expect to see that with swords, or air. But typically speaking, this is kind of like it's a miscommunication. It's also possibly something like there's going to be a delay that's going to continue the situation on a little bit further, where it's like where you thought things were going great and accelerated and just going along rather quickly, it just kind of starts to fizzle out, and there's some blocks around this one. Nine of Wands reverse. So burnout, paranoia. Paranoia is like the big one. Being overly defensive, refusing help, struggling alone. So this is about being on that verge of like wanting to give up and feeling like everybody's against you and everybody's got a plot against you. Um, but at the same time, like it's paranoia, right? So how are we create I always ask this question, how are we creating this situation? How are we exasperating this situation, right? So I always tell people, don't let your fear or your paranoia drive the vehicle, right? When you are the vehicle. Don't let your fear or paranoia or your defensiveness, right, risk collapsing under this internal pressure that you've built up around this situation. Ten of Wands reversed. So this is about like, okay, now the explosion has happened, right? Breaking under that pressure, refusing to delegate, doing it all by oneself, refusing to have other people involved in the situation, not being able to depend on anybody. It could also be unnecessarily taking on more burdens, more work than what the person should be. It can also be indicative of the need to kind of let go of some responsibilities, right? And so this is a card about the weight of this person's responsibilities becoming really unbearable. Like they're doing it all by themselves and they're doing it alone, and they're gonna take all their sticks and tumble back down the mountain where they first started, right? And it's like asking for help. They kind of like, this is a card of asking for help feels like weakness. But I always tell people, listen, if something becomes too heavy to carry, now is the time to drop it and let it go, set it down before it breaks you, right? So pages are messengers. They're also opportunities to learn, but they're messengers or messages as well. So it could be a lack of direction, immature energy. So the Ace of Wands upright is like a youthful energy, but maybe the Page of Wands could be immature energy. It could also be news that you weren't quite expecting. It could be procrastination, fear of stepping forward, right? So it's about doubt and uncertainty, whereas the Ace of Wands was really about like curiosity and the energy being really excited. Now it's kind of like your butterflies in your stomach. It's like, oh, maybe this is going to be a little harder than I thought. So it can be about hesitancy to kind of explore those new opportunities. It could also be self-sabotage. I see this card a lot with self-sabotage, especially around career, and just general laziness, procrastination. So this is really about lack of a follow through, right? Lack of follow through when it comes to these ideas or these creative projects or these situations in our career where we can do a different kind of project, or even in romance, right? Where just something kind of fizzles out, and fear of taking that next step. The Knight of Wands reversed is about impulsiveness. It's about reckless behavior, empty promises, someone not fulfilling their word, lack of follow through, even acting without thinking. And this is a card that typically has disastrous consequences, right? It's about arrogance. It's about making decisions maybe just too quickly. And it can also indicate, as the Knight, as a person, someone who's unreliable, right? Someone who's unpredictable, or I always think of like upside down knights as like super vain people who make grand promises, but they can't keep, they have like no intention of following through or keeping those intentions. So I always say with this one, just be cautious with the Knight of Wands reverse. Don't rush into situations without a plan, and make sure you strategize well. The Queen of Wands reversed. So the Queen of Wands is about confidence, right? We talked about that in the last videos. Confidence being the key word when it comes to queens and wands. And so this could be as insecurity. I often see this as insecurity disguised as confidence, right? Like you have that person that every time they walk into the room notices them. They influence the room, and not always in a good way. And there's always been these people that, you know exactly who I'm talking about, right? Where it's like they walk into a room and they're like kind of snobby, or they have got this air of like pretentiousness about them. That's what this is. It's manipulation, jealousy, controlling tendencies, and basically insecurity disguised, as confidence. A meddler, a gossiper, someone who always wants the gossip. Usually someone who's using charm and influence to manipulate like situations, right? Also, I've seen it also like loss of personal power, like not feeling sexy, not feeling confident, not feeling sensual as well. The King of Wands reversed is a tyrant, right? It's arrogance, it's abuse of power, it's lack of vision, overconfidence, leading to mistakes. So the king is a leader, right? He was once inspiring, but now has become egotistical, now has become ruthless. This is someone who's really overbearing, manipulative, Can also represent typically someone who's so focused on the outcome that they'll unscrupulous, right? Unscrupulous. There's someone who's so focused on the outcome that they'll literally do anything. They'll cheat, they'll lie, they'll steal, whatever, in order to get the thing. So it's, this could be definitely like business fraud. This could be cheating. This could be a whole bunch of things. But basically, the energy of this card is arrogance and the inability to take personal responsibility for that. So thank you so much for joining me in this video. I will see you in the next video where we talk about the Ace of Cups or the Ace of Water.